Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is exciting to have everybody back in person this year. We had 2 years of honorees that had a virtual banquet last year, and I don't know, do we have any 2021 or 2020 honorees in the room tonight? Will you stand up if you were an honoree but did not have a banquet? Maybe we'll get a round of applause here. So I'm Mike Shamia, the president of the Lindbergh Schools Board of Education, and I'd like to congratulate all of tonight's honorees. Lindbergh is, as we know, is an amazing community, and without your support and contribution, it would not be what it is. So I welcome all of you and all the family members, co-workers, friends, everyone that came here to celebrate with you tonight. I'm going to take 1 second too and talk about a Lindbergh leader from 1990, and that was my mother, Janet Shamia, who passed away about exactly 1 year ago, and she was an extraordinary individual, and probably the best person I ever encountered. Sorry. She lived her life with beauty and grace, even while battling Alzheimer's for almost a decade. And it's appropriate that I stand up here tonight and honor her as well in this room. So I just wanted to make mention of her tonight. So before we begin the program tonight, I'd also like to recognize the 2 additional board members we have here. So Secretary Christy Watts, if you'd like to stand up, and Matt Alonso as well. And I'd also like to recognize the cabinet from the administration. So Chief Communications Officer Beth Johnson, who introduced the event tonight and does an amazing job. Please stand up. Chief Academic Officer Dr. Tara Sparks, and Chief Financial Officer Joelle Shively, who I think is back in the back of the room. We also have many other district leaders and principals, so if you guys could stand up as well so we could recognize you. It's been a tough couple years for everyone. And I think this whole group, administration, leaders, principals, have done an unbelievable, amazing job. You know, I echo what Forrest said, and my mom used to always say, you've got to put yourself out there. If you want to do amazing things, you have to do that. And with that will come criticism. It's inevitable. Justified or not, receive it, take it in, and use it as fuel to make you a stronger person. And all these guys did that. This district is in better shape today than it was 2 years ago, trust me. So thank you for everything that you've done. So now I'm going to introduce Superintendent Tony Lake, and he's going to do the 2021 Teacher of the Year and Support Person of the Year. So little Tony will take it over now.
Forrest, are you in the room anywhere? Forrest, oops. Where are you, Forrest? Thank you. I have a new nickname now, and I really appreciate that. Little Tony. Where's that little Tony guy that runs the place? I really appreciate that. So, well, thank you, Mike, for that introduction. As we all know, Lindbergh is fortunate to have so many amazing teachers and support staff. I have the honor tonight to introduce two outstanding individuals that work in our schools that do amazing things each and every day for our students, staff, and our families. Our first honoree tonight is our Teacher of the Year, Mr. Dan Doherty. Dan couldn't be with us this evening, but we wanted to take a moment and recognize some of his amazing work at Lindbergh High School, where he teaches chemistry and physical science. What I love about Dan, and I said this, when I go in and out of Dan's classrooms, Dan is a kid magnet. Uh-oh. Forrest?
He told me we might need these batteries. Be right back.
Hold that.
Okay.
Just a second. There we go.
All right.
Hey, there we go. All right, good. So back to Dan. So when I go in and out of Dan's classrooms, Dan is what we refer to as a kid magnet. He has this ability to build these amazing relationships with kids, and the subjects he teaches, chemistry and physical science, sometimes aren't the most exciting and can be very difficult with kids, but he really goes above and beyond and really builds those relationships, and those relationships start with him so he can help his kids excel academically in those difficult subjects. I just want to take a moment and just read a quote from Dr. Cochran, the high school principal from Lindbergh, and this is what Dr. Cochran had to say about Mr. Doherty. Mr. Doherty is the definition of a teacher who continuously grows in his practice. He takes a challenging subject like chemistry and makes it engaging, fun, to help each student understand the material. On a regular basis, he will explicitly tell his students, "It's time for me to remind you that I care about you." Each of you as students sees and feels the support from him. I have never seen a teacher as beloved by his students due to his contributions of content, of expertise, of teaching, skills, and his personal ability to relate to his students. He is truly admired and respected by every staff member at Lindbergh High School. Please join me in recognizing Dan Doherty as the 2021 Teacher of the Year. And now I have the opportunity to introduce our support staff of the year for 2021, Jessica Franklin. Jessie and I have gotten to know each other quite well. Jessie took over the lead nurse's position for our district in the spring of 2020. So if you can put that math together in your head, it was a new position that we had created during the budget in February of 2020, before we even knew this little thing called COVID was going to come upon our doorsteps, and she still took the job. So we very thankful for that. But what I would just like to say about Jessie is that, it's just an honor for her just to watch her work with her nurses and the way she takes care of them, and then she is this constant, information and is always in the conversations with our health department, with other medical expertise, experts in the community. She's been asked to serve on several panels as that. So Jessie has just done a tremendous job, and your job has just been thankless. And I'll just share a quick story. Every Monday she comes into our cabinet meeting, and usually she's been the voice of doom and gloom as she stepped into our meetings. But the last couple of Mondays, it's been a nice smile, and she's like, "I got nothing for you today." So it's been great to see that, and Jessie's going to actually get to do the job that we hired her to do, and that's really build the overall wellness and health of our employees and students in our school district. So congratulations, Jessie. Please come up here.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for that introduction. So as Dr. Lake said, I accepted my position in June of 2020, and it has been nothing but a whirlwind. I'm still really happy with my decision. It has been a whirlwind, but it has been great. So I am married to my wonderful and supportive husband. We have 3 kids. We have a 13-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So that was kind of a crazy summer. So I've had the privilege to work with the task force, and I have been able to work with some panels. I work with an amazing team of nurses who work tirelessly for our kids and our staff throughout the district, and I could not do what I do without them. So I just want to take a second to say thank you to all of you who are in this room, to the super supportive building administrators, thank you, to our administrators at central office, because they have been so fantastic, and everyone has offered grace and support throughout this, and I just can't thank them all enough. So thank you all.
That works then?
Oh, that's right. Yep. That's what she does all day long. She tells me.
Where to go, where to sit, fix the
Yep.
microphone.
Yes.
All right, well, this is the part of the night we've been waiting for. Congratulations, Jesse, congratulations to Dan. We are so proud of both of you, and we're excited tonight to start introducing our 2022 Lindbergh Leaders. So again, I just want to reiterate how great it is to be back in person. This is truly one of my favorite events of the year because every single person we're honoring tonight is just so deserving and makes Lindbergh a better place. And if you aren't familiar with the process, we have lots and lots of people who are nominated. There's so many nominations every year. And then we bring together a committee that represents every building, every school in our district. And we have teachers on that committee, we have parents, we have administrators and support staff, and all of these people read through all the nominations. And I think this year there was probably about 150 pages of nominations that they read through. They score each of our nominees. There are just so many wonderful people. And then we all meet together and they have a conversation. We do a secret vote and then tabulate who our top winners are. And you are going to meet all of them tonight. So it's a very hard job for our committee members, but it's very rewarding and it's fun just because there's so many people who are so deserving. So I get the honor of introducing them. You are the ones who actually live alongside them, volunteer and serve with them, work with them, and so I know all of you know these people well and very personally, and this just scratches the surface. What we read to introduce them is taken from those nominations, but you all you're the experts on these people and you know them well. And so what we're going to do is read through some excerpts from those nominations, and then I would encourage all of you to, in your program, there's a QR code, and you can scan that later, and you can go and actually read a full bio of all of our nominees tonight too. So we have that available for all of you. I would also mention that we are live streaming our program tonight on our district YouTube channel, so if you'd like to share this later, or go on and congratulate any of our winners, that'll be available as well. So let's get started. Our first Lindbergh leader of the night is Donna Buchart. And when we read the nominations, Donna is better known as the heart and soul of Sperring Middle School. She currently serves as the administrative assistant at Sperring, and she's been working in the Lindbergh district for 23 years. Donna also comes from an entire family of Lindbergh graduates. She and her husband Dave are members of the class of '81, and their children, Justin and Lauren, are Lindbergh High School alumni as well. Donna has been a member of the Lindbergh Association of Office Personnel since 2003, and she currently serves as treasurer. and she also represents Sparing on Dr. Lake's Classified Employee Advisory Board. As I mentioned, the principals at Sparing all agree that Donna truly is the heart and soul of their building. She goes above and beyond to take care of her students, her staff, and families. Over the past 2 years, they said Donna's role has become even more essential. She's risen to that challenge by starting early and working late, filling in substitute roles, and just also, in addition to that, I've heard making sure that the people who are out are taken care of, and checking in on them. Her coworkers say she's trustworthy, she's kind, empathetic, ambitious, friendly, and generous. Outside of Lindbergh, Donna volunteers at South County Baptist Church. She's the chairperson of the women's ministry there. She volunteers with the children's choir. She serves on the church's foundation and has even directed the youth group with her husband as well. So please join me in congratulating our first Lindbergh Leader of the night, Donna Buchart.
Thank you so much. Mike Shammy, I just have to say, you really started the night off special for me, because Janet Shamia is the person that I got to start my Lindbergh career with, and I got to work right alongside of her, and what a special lady. So thank you for sharing that. Well, I have notes tonight, and it's not because I'm shy or quiet or don't, know what to say, because no chuckles in the room for those of you who really know me. I have the notes just to keep me on track. So the other Lindbergh leaders in the room for tonight, if you're here to receive this award, you probably had the same thought that I did whenever that call came in, whether it's this year that call came into you or past years. But when that call came in, I remember where I was sitting, and I was sitting at my desk, which looks out into the front commons at Sparing, and into my office where my team was working so hard, and I got this call that I'm going to be recognized as a Lindbergh Leader. And right away my thought was, why me? Do you see what's happening here? And so I was just amazed that was happening for me. I also, I want to share with you, this is my thought. Dave and I, Monday night, we were at Lindenwood University, and our niece, Jasmine Buchart, or some of you, if you might have had Jasmine in your class, but she's on the dance team at Lindenwood there, and they're at nationals right now, actually. So Dave and I went there to watch Jasmine, and we had purchased a t-shirt, a fundraiser t-shirt, and I loved right away what the back of the shirt said. And it says, "The strength of the team is each individual, and the strength of each individual member is the team. So it's all in one." It's all in one. I've been blessed to be to be a part of so many awesome teams, and I'm grateful for each of them. For Dave, what a life we've had together. Lindbergh brought us together. For my family, so supportive. Co-workers, the best. And some of those co-workers, I actually have the honor of calling co-worker and friend. Thank you. And many that I've worked alongside at our church, which leads me to one last thing I'd like to share. When leaving the parking lot of our church, there's a sign that reads, "You're now entering your mission field," and I truly believe that together we can make a difference. Thank you.
We will probably be doing this all night. Well, now it's time to recognize our second honoree, Karen Seiske. Becky is our district's library media specialist, and she has been a part of the Lindbergh community for 30 years. As an elementary school teacher, a librarian, and a dedicated parent of 3 Lindbergh High School graduates. Whether she's working, serving on a building or district level committee, or volunteering for her children's activities, Karen says that what makes Lindbergh special is that it always feels like home. She said, "I've worked at Truman when it was Afton Lindbergh ECE, at the Kindergarten Center, at Kennerly, Crestwood, Long, Sappington, and Dressel." And she said, "Every time I've moved schools, I felt like I was leaving the best school ever. And when I entered a different school as a new staff member, it felt like home again." Karen has been a leader in library innovation in our district. During her time at Sappington, she helped write a grant to create the district's first makerspace. And in her current role, Karen continues to advocate for programming and personnel and ensure that our learning opportunities for students are at the forefront of all of her decision-making. Her colleagues and her fellow librarians most appreciate Karen's regular check-ins, her availability, and her collaborative nature. One colleague had this to say about Karen: "As a mentor, Karen goes above and beyond in her duties consistently. She checks in with new staff, makes school visits, answers questions, and shows support. She guides new staff to make decisions that benefit their schools, and she supports them in finding the resources they need to develop exceptional library programs." Most recently, Karen has led Lindbergh's K-12 libraries in the revision of policies and procedures with the clear goal of achieving exemplary library status. When concerns have arisen regarding available texts in the library, she has demonstrated empathetic leadership, clearly understanding the concerns of the parents while balancing the diverse needs of district families. We appreciate all of Karen's expertise and generosity during this time. Let's have a round of applause for our next Lindbergh leader.
Thank you, that was very kind. Well, Mike, it must be the night for moms, because when I was growing up, my mother had the craziest sayings. And the one that stuck with me was, "Only boring people get bored." And I can honestly say that my 30 years in Lindbergh have not been boring at all. I can remember being so excited to be hired as a kindergarten teacher here many years ago. And I have been encouraged and inspired by all the coworkers and teachers that I've worked with. I have been amused at some of the things that have happened in an elementary world, because there are so many funny stories from the elementary world. I've been supported by administrators. Now, some of you, and I'm not looking in any direction, have aggravated me through the years, but for the most part, I really am not looking this way. But for the most part, I really have been supported, and I appreciate and admire your job, your advice to me, your support has been wonderful through the years. I really do feel at home at all those different buildings where I've been to almost all the elementary buildings. I really did feel like every building was my home. And so I think that has to do with the kind families that we have and the supportive PTOs in all of our schools, because they really do make it feel like it's your house and your family. I don't consider any part of this career boring, but after this year, I really am ready to retire and have a life of leisure. So that's the plan. That's the plan. I do need to say a special thank you to my family, Joe, Stephen, Brendan, Holly, and Jacob. Thanks for supporting me and for trying to figure out how to juggle my school activities with all of your activities and for helping me along the way. And then my really special thanks goes to the library ladies back in the corner. I have loved working with all of you. I think you are the most wonderful, dedicated, professional people ever, and I know how amazing you are. Thank you.
Our Our next Lindbergh leader is Cami Duragi. Cami has been a part of the Lindbergh community for 15 years, and during that time, she has served as a volunteer leader in multiple schools, most notably leading the formation of a brand new parent-teacher organization at Dressel Elementary School in 2017. Cami and her husband Kevin have 3 children in the district who attend Sperring and Kennerly Elementary School. During their school careers, Cami has served as the Lindbergh Early Childhood PTO Secretary, Sappington PTG Corresponding Secretary and Vice President, Dressel PTO President, Kennerly PTP Assistant Treasurer, and Sperring School Store Volunteer. Outside of school, Cami volunteers in various children's programs at Christ the King Church, has served on the Gala Committee for Lydia's House, and has managed several of her kids' soccer teams. Cami said that helping to set up a new nonprofit organization when Dressel opened in 2017 has been her most meaningful volunteer experience at Lindbergh, and a great learning experience as well. Her work alongside so many dedicated volunteers continued as the Dressel Parent Group hosted a bone marrow drive for high school student Will Oler and implemented a $10,000 annual grant program to benefit Dressel's students and teachers. Now at Kennerly, her elementary school principal, DeAndre Thomas, said Cami continues to be an asset to the school community. He said Cami is hardworking, dedicated, and does whatever is needed to support our students and staff. Please join me in congratulating Cami Duragi.
Hi, thank you all for coming out tonight, even with the frigid cold weather drop that we had. I want to start by congratulating all the other Lindbergh Leader recipients tonight. I'm honored to be sharing the stage with you this evening. And I'd also like to thank the selection committee for all your time spent in reviewing all of the nominations. I am honored that you chose me as one of the recipients. Uh-oh. I can talk really loud if you want me to.
It's back on now, so
Hello, hello.
it's blinking. Let's see.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working alongside many incredible leaders, and I've learned something from each of them. Honestly, I could go on and on with a list of names, but I'm not going to take up that much of your time. I also want to express my gratitude to my family, my parents, my mother-in-law, who is also a Lindbergh Leader recipient herself, and my siblings. That's all right.
We'll let you start.
It's all good. No, it's totally fine. If anything, we all know about technology difficulties over these last couple years, right?
And I know it's working, so I don't know.
You want me to just hold it?
Why don't you try? Let's try
Hello,
that.
hello. Okay.
Keep going.
All right. So I wanted to express my gratitude to my family, my parents, mother-in-law, who is also a Lindbergh Leader recipient herself, and my siblings. They are always there, no questions asked. Without their constant help shuffling kids to sports and other events, I could not be involved nearly as much. Lastly, I want to recognize the 4 most important people in my life, and the reason I volunteer my time. My husband, Kevin, whose support and encouragement is endless.
Doesn't happen very often, probably. He must hear it.
I'm sure he's listening. You want me to keep going? And our 3 boys, Alex, Ethan, and Colin. You 3 challenge me every day to be the best version of myself, and I am so proud of each of you. I want to end with a quote by Walt Disney that inspires us in the Duragi house. It reminds me of my amazing father-in-law who is no longer with us. If you can dream it, you can do it. Thank you. Thank you.
And hardly wait till all cars are running batteries.
Are these an extra set right here?
Brand new, I don't know.
All right. We'll try holding the microphone. We'll see if that works. All right. No? All right, our next Lindbergh leader is English teacher Matthew Greiner. Matt has worked as an English teacher at Lindbergh High School since 2006, and he currently chairs the department as well. The LHS English department has long been considered an exemplary example of academic rigor, and this is due in part to Matt's strong leadership. High school principal Dr. Eric Cochran shares that countless times he has heard from college professors who remark about the quality of writers who come out of our school. This is not done without great leadership, and Matt helps lead the charge by utilizing the structure of professional learning communities in his department to make decisions that keep academic standards at a high level. Matt is committed to supporting teachers and students by engaging with families who have questions or concerns, working with district staff to prepare communication about courses and materials, and supporting the English department as various challenges arise. He consistently provides a balanced, thoughtful, and respectful tone, and he helps Lindbergh focus on what is best for students. High school students learn to engage in critical thinking and civil discourse because of the high expectations of the English department under Matt's leadership. Over the years, Matt has given back to the Lindbergh community by serving on many district and building level committees. He also coordinates and leads professional learning and sponsors experiences for students, including the Apotheosis Arts and Literature magazine. And outside of Lindbergh, Matt has filled many roles associated with St. Peter's Catholic Church and School, including CYC sports coaching, volunteering, and participating in fundraisers. He has also helped chaperone and assist at various Girl Scouts events for his daughters. Thank you, Matt, for everything you do to support Lindbergh schools.
We must have some bad batteries.
Thank you. Thank you. 16 years ago, I was working in a district that I was doing in a skill set that I was in over my head, journalism, yearbook, things I had to trade for. And my wife and I were expecting our third daughter. I'm a girl dad. So if you know, you know. And I knew I needed to make a change. I needed to find a place that I could spend the rest of my career at and do what I knew I wanted to do with my life, like work towards helping children grow, develop skills, and just kind of see that magic happen in the classroom and outside the classroom. Lindbergh gave me that opportunity. It is a place where not only students grow, but I think they do a fantastic job of helping teachers grow, educators grow. The support that I and other teachers received here has been incredible, better than any place I've ever worked before. The teachers in the room probably know that many of us suffer from what is called imposter syndrome, the feeling that we are always trying, kind of not doing as good as we think we are. We're always failing just a little bit, like we're pretending in some way. And I think Lindbergh has really helped recognize its teachers, and recognizes its educators, and really makes us feel that we are doing a fantastic job with our students and really making meaningful change. So thank you. Thank you, Lindbergh Foundation, and my colleagues. And thank you to my wife for supporting me, especially when I spent every Sunday grading papers. So, thank you. Thank you.
Our next Lindbergh leader is Karina Heilig Henry. Karina has worked at Lindbergh High School for 8 years, and she is the chair of the Modern Language Department. Karina is generous with her time and always focuses on opportunities to connect and serve others. While teaching at LHS, she has served on PAC committee, helped with Special Olympics, and served as a sponsor for Student Council, Ping Pong Club, and the Gender Equity Club. 5 years ago, Karina stepped up with a creative idea to keep staff morale strong at Lindbergh High School. Her program, called Flyer Friends, provides a fun way for the staff to connect and meet each other. The teachers secretly buy each other gifts, and they have a running email where they can thank each other since they don't know who it is, and then at the end of the year, there's a big reveal for all the teachers. One of her colleagues shared that these small gifts have been really encouraging, especially during the last 2 years. Karina also works hard to support a culture of belonging at Lindbergh High School, and she is always looking for ways to allow student voices to be heard and validated. Most recently, she started a Gender Equity Club, which includes more than 30 students who advocate for their peers at the high school. Says Karina, these students are inspiring and brave. They want every single student at LHS to feel validated and that they matter here, exactly who they are. In 2019, Karina worked alongside one of our other Lindbergh leaders tonight, Mark Pfeiffer, to help organize and host more than 1,300 students from across the state at the Missouri Student Council Convention. In addition, since 2015, she has taken students abroad to Spain. We are grateful for all of Karina's leadership, and we are excited to present her with this much-deserved honor.
It's definitely coming down. Okay. First, I just want to say thank you to Lindbergh Schools and the Foundation for this incredible acknowledgement and honor. I am very grateful to Lindbergh Schools and to my administration, both present and past, for allowing me to have so many opportunities in my short time here at Lindbergh to be a leader at LHS. In my time at Lindbergh, I have worked with the hardest working, most dedicated, most innovative colleagues in the World Languages Department, 2 of whom are here tonight. One, Rebecca Gordon-Jones, who also started Gender Equity Club with me a few years ago. Every day I count my blessings that I get to work with the most amazing educators and friends who are instilling a love for languages and a celebration of diverse cultures that is much needed in our world today. Moreover, I am especially blessed to teach the students I've had the privilege to teach and work with as colleagues in some regards at Lindbergh High School. My student council kids over the years have been some of the most incredible young people I've ever had the chance to work with, and if you are their parent, you have done an incredible job. My Spanish students continue to prove that kids are ready to open their eyes to new cultures and to tolerate diversity in our world, and we are excited to have them. My ping pong students bring a very different variety to my job every week. That was a club I started because a student just asked me to do it in PAC, which is our advisory program at the high school that I helped start a while ago. And part of PAC is just building relations with kids. And I guess one day I said, I really love to play ping pong. I played it my whole life with my dad, who's here tonight, and my sisters. And one day he came up to me and he said, Senora, you want to help me start ping pong club? And I said, why not? Next thing I know, the kid pulls in a table like the next week, and I'm like, oh, this is happening. And little did I know that club was going to bring together such different types of kids at Lindbergh High School, and it's really neat every week to see kids who have never, ever crossed paths playing ping pong together and starting friendships. This year in particular, the Gender Equity Club at Lindbergh High School has invigorated my love for teaching and working at LHS. The students who come to that club every week are some of the bravest and most admirable people I have ever met in my life, and they are going to change the world. Finally, I want to thank my family for their endless support of my entire career, my parents, my grandparents, and my aunts who have been at every major event since I've been born, including my teaching career. My first year, I taught at a very small school called Grandview High School. It's literally in a place called Ware, Missouri. And both my grandparents, who were in their 60s at the time, and my mom were there at the homecoming football game because everybody was there in Ware, Missouri. And they drove 45 minutes just to be there, and I had nothing to do with it, but they just wanted to see where I worked. So when you have a family like that who always supports you, it's part of the reasons I became a teacher, because I know not every kid has that family support and encouragement like I've had my entire life. My parents have always inspired me to work hard and to never give up, and I hope I instill that in all of my students. And of course, my husband, Justin, who is here tonight. Justin and I are high school sweethearts. We've been together for 16 years, so more than, my gosh, I think it's 17 years, more than half our lives. And so it's really hard to be a high school teacher and tell kids, hey, don't worry about it. You'll just break up anyway. Maybe you won't. He's also obviously the father of our 2 children. During the pandemic, we decided to have twins. And so these last few years have been very difficult, to say the least, with 2 3-year-old boys. But my husband, Justin, has always been there for me throughout my career. He not only comes to all of my events, but he helps to set them up, and then he tears them down. He has gracefully allowed me, like Matt said, every Sunday, and especially now with the boys, I'm like, why don't you guys go to the park for a couple hours, and then I feverishly grade. And he has allowed me to prioritize my career when probably I should not have throughout my life. I'm very grateful to him for that. So thank you so much for this honor.
You get it?
Our next Lindbergh leader tonight is Jacqueline Jezik. Jacqueline is a parent volunteer in Lindbergh who is a proud supporter of public education, and she's literally putting the green in green and gold for Lindbergh Flyers, so. Exactly. I tried to put a joke in there. But she is the green mentor and co-sponsor of the Environmental Club at Crestwood Elementary School, where she has been doing some great things there since 2018. In 2019, Jacqueline helped Crestwood participate in its first ever U.S. Green Building Council's Green Schools Quest project. Students learned that 12 bags of trash were being thrown away every day at lunch in the school cafeteria, and with Jacqueline's help, they made a plan for change. Since then, the club's Planet Protectors have started a pilot program by utilizing reusable lunch trays and silverware to eliminate the use of styrofoam and plastic in the cafeteria, and their goal is to expand the program district-wide. The Environmental Club also has held a recycling drive in February where more than 350 people participated, and she worked to keep the club going during the pandemic, meeting virtually and arranging outdoor activities for the kids as well. Jacqueline is also involved in the garden committee at Crestwood, which just in the past few weeks they have worked to create an outdoor garden space at their school. Garden committee member Beth Bridwell had this to say. She said, Jacqueline is supportive of teachers in public education, and she is especially supportive of Lindbergh schools. Jacqueline has also served in numerous other volunteer roles at school, and in our larger community, she volunteers for One STL, which is St. Louis Regional Plan for Sustainability, and she serves as a school board director for the Lab School Preschool in Kirkwood. Thank you, Jacqueline, for everything you do for our community.
Pre-warning, I feel like I could pass out, so. I just, as a parent, wanted to stand up here first and foremost to thank our board and Dr. Lay, the administration, and the teachers and staff for everything you've done the past 2 years. It has been amazing and uncharted waters, and you do not get said thank you to enough, so big thank you. I am the proud product of public education. I am the first grader who went through speech therapy. I am the second grader who had art class in a trailer. And I am the elementary student whose entrance into the gifted program was solely contingent on standardized test scores. So I say that all because from kindergarten through graduation, I had amazing educators impacting my life. That first grade me had a teacher that recognized I needed speech intervention, and she also told me that the inside of my desk should not look like a rat's nest. And that art teacher, she boosted my self-esteem beyond measure and cultivated my love for art. That fifth grade teacher that had been championing me to be accepted into the gifted program. Well, she got her wish when my math test scores were released, and somehow, between 3rd and 4th grade, I became a genius on paper. These are only a few of my stories from elementary, but they keep rolling on to middle and high school. In fact, I am still in close contact with many of my favorite high school teachers to this day. I could never be a teacher because you people are saints. But I fully believe in the impact adults have on kids, and I really, really love kids. The drive to have a positive social influence is what has brought me to stand on this stage. As they said before, not only am I a parent at Crestwood, but 3 years ago, my involvement with this school hit an all new level, and I am thankful that it has never turned back. Since 2019, our group of self-proclaimed planet protectors has grown from 8 to over 30, and also navigated in-person and virtual meetings. We had to recoup 30,000 pounds of electronics, potted 900 sapling trees, and had numerous creek cleanups. And yes, we are proudly the pilot for the Lindbergh Sustainability Cafeteria Initiative. I just wanted to take a minute to thank Joelle and her team for redirecting money that was used to literally purchase trash into creating a job for the community, for the cafeteria and in our community. And a quick note about that, some of the 7th graders that were in the pilot program actually came to Crestwood during our trunk or treat, and they didn't know that we were the pilot, and when we told them, they were like, "We helped do that." Yes, you did. They were so proud. I would not be standing here if it weren't for the Crestwood crew. They are simply amazing people. I often joke that Crestwood is a little engine that could, and it is wholeheartedly because of the mentality of the humans inside that building. They are the most supportive team anyone could ask for. And I want to say thank you to Kit and Charity, who are our principal and assistant principal, for those of you who don't know. Your open-mindedness and positive let's do it attitude is refreshing and contagious. As much as you appreciate me, I appreciate you giving us the support and guidance to shoot for the moon. And I would like Karen Lunning and Beth Briggle to raise your hands, please. Karen's day job is being one of Crestwood's amazing reading specialists. Her side gig is co-sponsoring the environmental club with me every week for the past 3 years. She literally works 2 to 4 hours outside of the school to support our club. Beth's day job is being our awesome ELL teacher. Her side gig is being my partner in developing our incredible school garden and outdoor classroom space. I cannot wait to see where she takes this new endeavor. These 2 women have hearts of gold, and I am incredibly privileged not only to work with them, but also call them my friends. Each year, Karen and I try to provide a space for our planet protectors to explore all aspects of sustainability. We teach them that the world is made up of complex, interconnected systems with billions of parts, and it is magical that we are all a part of it. To see their eyes light up when they make that connection is priceless. We want to give the students agency to become leaders and positive change makers, to teach them that the word disrupt does not have to have a bad connotation, that they can disrupt systems for the better because no human created system is perfect. And we give them the Lion King as an example of disrupting systems for the good and for the bad. We are committed to build community and opportunities to volunteer, for students and their families to feel the joy of being a part of something bigger than themselves, to understand that they are stakeholders in their community, in their school, community, and the planet, and to be proud. And that's where we find ourselves at Crestwood and striving to become a Missouri Green School. By no means is it easy being the vanguard group that forges the path, but once the path is created, it's easier for those that want to do the same to follow. And since I have a 5th grader, I will be looking at you, Truman. I'm excited to be part of Lindbergh, and as we say in our group, we can have excellence in learning while designing a greener future. And I also want to take a minute to thank my mom for giving me wings to see the world and be a support system in every way, shape, and form for many, many decades. And to my husband, who balances me out perfectly. He makes sure I'm on time for things, like tonight, and never gives me a hard eye roll for any of my crazy ideas. Thank you.
Our next Lindbergh leader is another Dressel founding PTO member, Seda Lindsay. In her 6 years with Lindbergh Schools, Seda has already taken on many volunteer roles that make a difference in our community. When Dressel Elementary School opened in 2017, Seda served as the corresponding secretary on the school's first PTO. She has also served as treasurer, fundraising chair, and nominating chair. In addition, she's served on many district-wide committees, including the Facilities Planning and Student Life Board Advisory Committees, as well as the district's Strategic Planning Committee. She has also served as a Girl Scout troop leader for her daughter and the cookie manager at Sappington and Dressel. Outside of Lindbergh, Seda has served on the Metropolitan Volunteer Managers Association, AmeriCorps, the Junior League of St. Louis, In-Purpose Education Services, Sweet Celebrations, and United Way of St. Louis. Once a month, she and her family make meals for unhoused men who are able to seek overnight refuge at a church in Ferguson. Seda said she values this opportunity to serve alongside her daughter, Poppy, to make connections in the community and to build a foundation for her daughter to continue a lifetime of meaningful service to others. A previous Lindbergh leader had this to say about Seda. Since Seda moved into the district in 2016, she consistently has given her time to Dressel and the district. She gives her all to the community, and most of her free time is spent giving back, whether it is working with the Dressel PTO, district committees, or organizing other volunteer opportunities for our community. Please join me in congratulating Seda Lindsay.
Oh, Lord Jesus, someone had to touch it. Are y'all with me still? Okay. Thank you so very much. I'm very proud to be included with this year's honorees. The staff, parents, and teachers being recognized tonight are all wonderful examples of our amazing Lindbergh community. So congratulations to all of you. I'm also very proud to be included with past Lindbergh leaders, and I see a few of you in the room tonight. I'm inspired by your gifts and your leadership to the district. So thank you very much for being leaders. So when my daughter Poppy, and I have to point her out because she was very nervous, I would not mention her tonight. She's making a TikTok back there of me. And also, please, no one else pass her cake. She's had 4 pieces, and I have to take her home tonight, so please, no more cake. My husband's already watching to make sure. But when she was headed to kindergarten, my husband Troy and I decided that we really wanted to be a part of the Lindbergh community. I remember how we quickly got a contract on a house, and how I took that contract and I ran into Sappington Elementary and I said, sign us up for kindergarten, we're here, we're ready. And we wanted to make sure that she was enrolled in kindergarten and we were successful. And I'm sure they're very thankful that we were so quick on doing that. That was in May of 2016, and now Poppy's getting ready to fly up from Dressel to Sparing. So I'm looking at you, Sparing, and also thoughts and prayers. We're so excited for that next chapter of our education, which is middle school. Pause for thoughts and prayers for the, for the middle school parents. The decision to move to Lindbergh is one we've never regretted, and we truly do love the Lindbergh community. I was and continue to be delighted that Lindbergh was so welcoming to us. I've been able to volunteer as part of our PTO and make lasting friends, and those I consider family, #ExtraDressel. And I have gotten to volunteer with different board committees, such as the strategic plan, and meet staff and volunteers and teachers from other schools. It's been rewarding to be able to see how much the district cares about its students and works to create a better world through personalized, innovative learning experiences. I'll call back to the strategic plan, you like that? I look forward to continuing to volunteer and be an active part of the Lindbergh community for many more years. Once again, thank you so much for this honor.
All right, our next Lindbergh leader is Lindbergh High School Social Studies teacher, Mark Pfeiffer. Mark's 21st year of teaching in Lindbergh schools, and he has served as advisor of the Lindbergh High School Student Council since 2012. In 2019, the LHS Student Council, as I mentioned before, hosted 1,300 students from 165 Missouri schools for the 71st Annual Missouri Association of Student Councils Convention. The theme was Harry Potter, and the entire high school was transformed. And Mark spearheaded the logistics, event planning, and coordination of this event, although I should say Mark led the students in spearheading this, and that's really what he does, is he facilitates giving his kids those leadership opportunities. In fact, the high school principal, Eric Cochran, had this to say about Mark. He put it very well. Mark models the involvement we celebrate from our staff with his constant presence at events throughout the district. And meanwhile, as the sponsor of Student Council, he never does the work for the students. He gives them all the tools they need to be leaders and influencers within their own school. It is through their guidance, his guidance, that their voices are heard and their impact is felt. You can see Mark's students leading the way all year round at Lindbergh High School through events like Bonanza, Special Olympics, which happened in the snow today, school dances, and much more. And in addition, Mark has served as a Green Machine volunteer advisor. He's served on several building and district level committees. He participates in Sunday Night Lights with his student council. He coaches the fishing club, and he has coached several community ed and rec teams as well for his children who both attend Sparing. Mark shares that he volunteers because he wants to help our students excel in all aspects of their lives. It is our students, he says, that make the Lindbergh community special through their creativity, their hard work, and their kindness. Congratulations to Mark Pfeiffer.
All those other speeches have been really good. So I guess this is the time of the night where we're going to get a bad one, I guess. So we'll see. I'm like a big time rule follower. I don't think people know that. So when central office said I had 2 minutes to say thank you, I really thought that's what it was going to be. So I was like, wow, I got to thank all these people in like 21 years, and now. Oh, and then they said, oh, you have to get a boot in the ear 15 minutes before it starts or something. I didn't have a jacket, so I had to go buy one. And if I would have known it was going to be yellow, I would get free drinks, I would have gotten a yellow one. So, but anyway, I've been really lucky to work with some great people throughout my career here at Lindbergh. I really want to thank Lisa Manson and Mark Christian. I know they're not here tonight, but maybe they're watching. Probably not, but we'll see. They were great mentors for me. And then Mary Groby and Karina, who is here tonight, and then Kayleen Green, or Kayleen Hayes now, she just got married. So, but they've been wonderful advisors with me with student council. I've also worked with some great football coaches, some great volleyball coaches. And then I'd like to thank my boss, who's here, and my boss's boss, who's there, and my boss's boss's bosses, who's here. I do think that, over the last few years working under Dr. Cochran and Dr. Lake have been phenomenal. They talk about bringing a culture of yes to Lindbergh, and it's just been exceptional. So thank you very much. I'd like to thank my department, although none of them showed up today. So, great. Yeah, it says something right there, doesn't it? But I bring up all these individuals because when you work with people like this day in and day out, you adopt some of their philosophies on teaching and coaching and leadership. And I continue to be inspired by them throughout all the time that I've been working with them. I'd like to thank also, with Student Council, if you didn't know this, we make a huge amount of mess. Like, we mess up so many things. And in my time, I was trying to figure out, in just a short amount of time that I've been the Student Council advisor, I think we've gone through 5,000 pounds of paper alone. We've gone through 20,000 balloons, 500 gallons of paint, pretty much all of my soul. So I'd like to thank all the the secretaries who help us order all this stuff, and then our bookkeeper, Sarah Aarons, who cuts the checks for us, and then all the custodians who help clean it up, because like previous people have said, as previous people have said, it's teamwork that makes this school district so great, and without their help, we would not be the same district that we are. Anyway, lost my spot. I think the students themselves, and there's only one of them here tonight, so she can stand up. She's here with her mom, it's Emma Watts. She's also in student council. She's done a phenomenal job. She worked with ordering all the shirts for our Special Olympics, which was today, and I didn't sleep at all last night, so I'm a little hallucinogenic up here. I apologize. But anyway, Emma and all of her cohorts and all the thousands of students that I've had here at Lindbergh and all the thousands of athletes that I coached and about 300 student council kids, I can't thank them enough for who they are, especially this, kids like her who give so much time and so much of their, it's like their lives, they show up at, for things that I wouldn't expect. I didn't show up for them when I was in high school, and like, we're like, be there at 7:30 tomorrow, and they're there at 7:30, and sometimes they're there until 10:30 at night, or 12:30 at night, or in case of state, I don't think we went home. So they do some amazing things for us, and I always say that it's not Pfeiffer Council. I don't do anything. It's always student council. They're the ones who do it all. So I can't thank them enough. Finally, I'd like to thank my kids. They get dragged to every student council thing. They've clocked more hours than Dr. Cochran. So I'm pretty sure one of them is going to run for board next year. So, but anyway, thanks again. It was this honor is it's probably the biggest honor I've gotten in my career. So I can't thank all of you who helped get me here, I guess. So thank you very much.
Take that, your award. Yeah, not mine.
And Mark, that was more than 2 minutes. We do tell everyone. All right, our next Lindbergh leader is Patty Thomas. Patty Thomas is a social studies teacher at Truman Middle School and currently serves as the department chair. Patty graduated from Lindbergh High School in '95, has worked as an 8th grade social studies teacher for 21 years, and has 2 children in the district. During that time, she served on many Lindbergh committees, including Middle School Redesign, Building Leadership Team, Budget Reduction Committee, Teacher and Superintendent Dialogue Committee, and many more. As the Vice President for the Lindbergh National Education Association, she goes above and beyond to ensure that teacher voices are heard and represented. One colleague had this to say, "Patty represents and works tirelessly for Lindbergh in countless areas. She is known and she is respected. She's present and persistent. She is reliable and she's relatable. She sees herself as part of the solution rather than an individual who only identifies problems." In the community, Patty has taken on roles including Boy Scouts Scouting for Food Station Volunteer, Girls on Track Coach, Boy Scouts Merit Badge Counselor, Faith Oakville Campus Vacation Bible School Assistant, Adopt a Platoon Program Volunteer, Queen of All Saints Vacation Bible School Director, and various assistant coaching positions as well. In 2014, she was honored as Truman Middle School's School Teacher of the Year, and in 2013, she was one of 10 teachers nationwide to earn the Herff Jones National Teacher Shout-Out Award. Patty exudes leadership in all that she does. She's hardworking, empathetic, and a compassionate leader who will always go out of her way to help students, teachers, and staff. Congratulations, Patty Thomas.
I think I'm going to have to move the microphone. I think I'm good. Anyway, I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I know it's a Friday night, and you would probably rather be home in your comfy pants, nice and warm. So thank you very much for coming out for me and for all of the other people and recipients of this award. My story starts back in 1980 in kindergarten in Kennerly when I walked into Mrs. Rose Bingham's class. Cried the entire day. It was like the worst experience ever. But it was amazing when I came back the second day, and I have just continued to call Lindbergh home. I was very fortunate after high school to be able to come back and do my student teaching. And when I was subbing for a year, I had the most difficult job interview ever from Bob Ayers. He called me into his office and he said, "Do you want a job?" And of course I was like, "Yes, I do. What do I have to do?" And he goes, "You're hired." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And I had this huge giddy grin on, and it was just, it was amazing. I really don't think I would get past the Lindbergh screening process for hiring purposes nowadays. So it's a little intense. I just really want to thank, first of all, my family, all the way in the back. Hey. So from the very early ages, playing in the piano room in the basement, to where we played school, it kind of taught me, you know, how important it is and how great it is to be able to work with others. And having great influence from my family, I appreciate it. My dad always said, once I became a teacher, my dad always said, make history come alive. And so I try to do that every day for kids. Sometimes you can hear me singing in the hallways, but I always try to make it fun. I want to thank you to my mom, who is always there and willing to help me pick up my kids. She's amazed with the amount of meetings that I actually attend at times. Always thank you to my husband for always being there. To everybody in my family, with my random phone calls to try to get Spirit Day wear on certain days. I appreciate you helping me out. To Truman, I appreciate everything that you guys do for me. You make my job so much easier, and I appreciate the support. And from the Dr. Lake, to the board, to the past administrators that I've had and the current administrators, thank you so much, because this is not just something that I could do by myself. You make my job much easier, and I am very appreciative of this. Thank you so much.
It's Chip.
Thank you very much.
I knew that would bug you, is why I said
And I feel terrible because we left Patty Thomas's name off of our Lindbergh Leader announcement. And we got about 100 emails from people who wanted us to know. And I'm thankful that they did. And then I got here tonight and her award was chipped. And so a new award has been ordered. It's on its way. Patty, we appreciate you. All right, our final Lindbergh Leader of the night is John Turner. John is the Special Education Coordinator at Lindbergh High School, and she has been working in the district for 14 years. She's a fierce advocate for her students, especially those who are most vulnerable. John is dedicated to providing programs and services to meet the needs of her students. She's tireless in her own research and personal learning, and she is innovative in her teaching strategies. During her time at LHS, John has co-led the Student Equity Group, created opportunities for students of all racial backgrounds to speak about their experiences with race, and guided students in the creation of a Black Student Union. One of her colleagues had this to say, "John is a big picture thinker. She's never afraid to try something new and solve difficult problems. She is also developing research-based tools for teachers to use, which takes a lot of organization and hard work. She's an avid reader, always willing to learn and help others. Finally, she is not afraid to have tough conversations when appropriate in order to make Lindbergh the best district it can be." During the 2020-21 school year, John served as interim Inclusion, Equity, and Diversity Coordinator. In conjunction with Lindbergh parents, she also led a community book study on overcoming dyslexia, connecting the material and the community with speakers and other experts in the field of study. John shares with us that what she values most about Lindbergh, the Lindbergh community, is this. She said, regardless of what is happening in the world around us, Lindbergh has always been a place where people are expected to be respectful and supportive of one another, regardless of gender, race, or creed. Lindbergh Schools is special because its community creates space for multiple thoughts, perspectives, feelings, and experiences. In everything she does, John strives to make her staff, her families, and her students feel welcome, safe, and heard. Congratulations to our final Lindbergh Leader of the Night, John Turner.
Tonight, I'd like to first thank my family. Every moment that I dedicate to other children is one that I can't give to you. And so your love and support keeps me going, so thank you so much. Next, I'd like to thank my team at the high school who work extremely hard to help our students close unbearably large gaps they come to us with and get them prepared for life beyond high school. Thank you, guys. The people truly behind my passion and success are the children I have the pleasure of working with and also their parents. They push my boundaries and stretch my comfort zone in a way that allows me to grow and better myself as an educator. It's those children and my determination to see them succeed that keeps me coming back each day, and the donuts. Learning more and pushing myself and my staff to do better. The children I work with are the true heroes, and I am blessed to work with them each day. Thank you.
Almost. Before Dr. Lake closes us out, I just want to ask, John, don't sit down. I'm going to ask all of our Lindbergh leaders who are honored tonight to please stand, and let's give them one more round of applause. In just a few minutes, I'll ask Dr. Lake to close us out, but I have a couple thank yous first. Our first thank you is to the Lindbergh Schools Foundation. The foundation helped us to coordinate all of the reservations and RSVPs for tonight, just to put all the program together. Thank you to Erica Keating for doing that, and Kara Koisenkothen. And they also were accepting donations on behalf of our Lindbergh leaders. And so we had 10 individuals who donated on behalf of Lindbergh Leaders tonight. We're really grateful for them, and we want you to know that if you would like to make a donation in honor of a Lindbergh Leader tonight, Erica is here. She has some envelopes on your table, and there is a box outside, and we will send a card to your Lindbergh Leader and let them know that you did that. So we just appreciate the foundation and everyone who made their donations for us tonight. I also want to thank Mark Benson with Ameritime. He's not with us tonight, but every year that we're in person, Ameritime does make a generous donation that helps us to underwrite the costs of this banquet and provide dinners to our nominees and to our guests, and so we appreciate his contributions every year as well. And one last thank you, last but definitely not least, I just want to thank my communications department for all of the planning that went into tonight, everything they do to make this event a success, So we have Tony Dobson over here who's live streaming for us, Spencer Michelson who's been taking our photos, Erica Keating in the back with us, Kara Koisenkothen who couldn't make it tonight but did a lot of the planning, and our foundation intern Madeline Woods as well, who's a Lindbergh High School student who's been working with us all year and has just been a huge help in planning. So thank you to all of you for helping. Thanks to all of you for coming tonight. And now, Dr. Lake, I'll let you close us out. Hand over the microphone.
So you guys got a glimpse of how the school district really runs. Between Beth, Tara, and Joelle, I get told what to do quite often and where to be and what to say. So I just want to take just a quick moment. I know Don B's disappointed. He was worried I was going to stand up here and talk for 30 minutes at the end of this wonderful event tonight. But I just want to say thank you to our honorees tonight. Everything that you do, all of your time and talents that you give to our school district and to our community as a whole is what makes Lindbergh so special. Also, just everyone in this room, and what I love about Lindbergh, and next year it's hard for me to believe, it's just gone so fast, is next year will be my 5th year as a superintendent here in Lindbergh. And what I love about this place is just the multi-generations of support and this badge that I'm part of Lindbergh, and it's just so special. And there is no other place like Lindbergh, and I can't think of any other place, especially the last 2 years, and I've said this a lot, that I would have been and I would have rather gone through with the amazing people of the Lindbergh community. So thank you for all of you for being here tonight, and thank you for allowing me to have the opportunity to work in such an amazing community. Have a good evening, be safe, have a great weekend. Thank you all for coming. I'm good. All right.